Good afternoon and welcome back to another episode of Bail HQ Onboarding Tutorials. I'm the CEO Alex Coffman and we're looking forward to showing you the bonds page today. So let's dive right in. You might recall from our previous videos, we started off at the command center. We created a client, myself, and now we're going to look at the bonds page. So when a client is created, you have an option to create a bond. In this case, we have one active bond with $10,000 of total liability and no failure to appear bonds at this point. You can create a new client from this page if you'd like. You can also create a new bond, and you can also batch discharge bonds that have essentially been taken off the books. So let's check this out now. So in this particular case, we've got a bond detail up here. This is me. And up here, you've got multiple options. One you can check in up here, as we've talked about in other episodes. If you'd like to invite the client to use the iPhone or Android app, which we think is essential to manage client relationships, you can do that here. You can send via text or via email. You can also edit the bond. You can edit the intake form, which we did to create the client. You can also view the client here. But let's get into the bonds. So in this case, you have a bond amount for $10,000. The total premium plus fees was $1,010. The total remaining amount is $510, and this was created today. There's a timeline of the arrest and when the bond was posted. In this case, the charges were driving while intoxicated, a misdemeanor in Harris County, Texas, the risk level being normal. From the court point of view, this is the 113th District Court in Harris with the address. The next court date has been added here by staff manually in the previous video, and so we have this here. There's a collateral button here if you want to add collateral, which is obviously very important to bondsmen in the creation of net new bonds. Here we've got a condition, which is we've got a daily app check-in by phone, which we've talked about before. You can also add staff notes. And you can upload files like contracts and things like that. Coming back here, if you'd like to edit the bond, you can also add another charge. So, in some cases, somebody might have been arrested for a DWI, and then you actually realize he actually has another charge, so we can add this as well. We can save these changes. We can edit conditions. There's a number of things that we can do, and so now it's updated accordingly. We'll come back here. If you want to create a completely new bond, you can do that. You can search for Alex. You can search for the kinds of charges. Assault causes bodily injury family member. Again, very similar to before. This is going to be a Harris County court. We're going to add it in Harris. Of course, it's in the state of Texas. And again, we're going to do a $15,000 bond here. The premium amount is $1,500. The down payment was $1,000. I was arrested, in this example again today. We can assign the power of attorney if we like, but of course this only has a $10,000 limit, so it's probably not going to work. We're going to create the bond here. Now in this interface, I want to point out briefly that if you want your client to join the bond on their phone application, if you want your client to join on the phone, you can text this or you can email, and it'll basically provide them a link to download the My Bail app, which will allow them to check in, see the court location, and a bunch of other functionalities and features from on the actual phone itself. So this is where you do that. Let's just say text to client. You go to text, email to client, same thing, and they should receive it on their end. When you're onboarding a client inside your office, I strongly recommend when you've created the bond inside, when you're onboarding them, you're creating their name, and you've absorbed them into the system, it's very prudent to send them the text and the email while they're in the office and onboard them to the application while they're actually in the office, not when they're by themselves or when they're at home, because it's a lot easier to do it when they're actually in the office with you. So we'll close this now. I'll move my little thing over here. And what you'll find is we now have two active bonds, and we have $25,000 in total liability, and it's been updated. These are recently added. Nothing has been discharged yet. There have been no FTA bonds, and there are two active bonds, and we're now looking at all of them. One of the things we can do here is we can batch discharge. So I'm going to discharge the selected bond, and now they've been moved to discharge, which means the total liability amount has gone back down to $10,000. You can search by the number of agents, the insurers, the status, the risk, forfeiture, etc., active liability, the bond range, under $5,000, 5 to 20, and then 20 and above. You can also search by client, and of course I'm the only one. But if you were to type in John, it would come up with nothing. Great. So that is the bonds page in its simplest form. I hope everyone enjoyed this, and if there's any questions that you might have, if there's anything that you need, you let us know in terms of feature requests and things like that. I want to note that there is a pending feature that'll allow you to, on the bonds page, you'll be able to see the charges. And of course, the reason for that is sometimes you just want to look, you forgot what the name of the client was, but you know that he was charged with a given offense. And so then you can search by date, you can search by liability, risk, status, etc. But sometimes it's just easiest to search by charge. We will be adding that feature soon. Thank you so much. Thanks for watching. And on our next page, we're going to do powers of attorney. So thanks so much.